this guitar lesson, you'll learn how to play the traditional flat picking tune called Over the Waterfall. Really cool arrangement. Just heard a sample of what we're going to work on today. So anyways, let's get to it. We're going to pull up tablature on the screen, and we're going to work through the entire arrangement, kind of one measure at a time, and I'm going to break everything down for you in detail. And by the way, if you like the tone of my guitar, I'm actually using a Paul Reed Smith. It's an A40 ETS, and they actually sent me this guitar to try out and do some videos with, and I actually really like it. It's kind of like it's got a little smaller body, really good compact travel guitar, but I think the tone actually sounds really nice. It's kind of got that mid-range focused tone, but still a nice rich tone, and I think it also sounds really good for fingerstyle. It's one of my favorite ways to play this guitar. So y'all will probably see this guitar on some other videos in the future, but I just wanted to show this to y'all and see if y'all like it. Anyways, back to it here. So on the screen we've got the first line of the tablature, and these four measures here, it's just going to be a little intro, or we call it potatoes in bluegrass. It's a little repetitive riff that will kind of kick off the song. So first four measures, potatoes in this song, are going to sound like this. So I like to break this in half because first two measures, basically you get the main idea of that little riff, and then the next two measures of this, you're going to play the same thing basically. Only difference is at the end of each of these little sections. So measures 1 and 2, you're going to do down, down, up, down, down, up, down, down, up, down, down. Down, down, up, down, down, up, down, down, up, down, down. And that's it. Measures 1 and 2 over that C chord. And then measures 3 and 4 play the same thing basically, except for the ending here. So measures 3 and 4. Down, down, up, down, down, up, down, down, up, down, down, up. So right there at the end of measure 4, you see the difference there. We've got 2 eighth notes. Those are 2 pickup notes that will lead you into the main melody that starts in the A part, that next line we're about to get to. So anyways, that is the intro. That's potatoes for this song. And then next line, we got measures 5 through 8. So that's measures 5 through 8. Let's break it down, little sections. Let's learn measure 5 first. And as we're learning measure 5, I'm actually going to start with those little pickup notes from the end of the previous measure, right at the end of measure 4, remember? Into measure 5. So here we go. Pick up, down, down. Measure 5 again. Open first string. So there's a little pull off, measure 5. Down, down, up, pull off, down. Down, down, up, pull off, down. It's pretty straightforward there. Pause the video if you want to work on measure 5. And then here's measure 6. Measure 6 again. And as I'm playing measure 6, I kind of leave my pointer finger planted the whole time. It lets me, ring out some of these notes, create some nice overtones, smooth everything out. And try to do that as much as you can. You got to use your best judgment and see what you think sounds good, but I like to let notes ring out as much as possible in this particular arrangement. And a lot of the stuff we're playing through this whole arrangement, it's kind of like little chord embellishment type of things built around the C chord. So if you really, think about where you are on the guitar, you're playing the C chord and doing a lot of little, that's not in the arrangement, I'm just showing kind of the idea. So keep that in mind as we're working through this. Don't totally just use single finger type of stuff. You can use the chords that you see above the tablature as the main chord shape. Most of y'all probably are already familiar with that, but just wanted to mention it there. Okay, so anyways, measure 6. Let's measure 6. Okay, so up to this point, we've got measures 5 and 6. We're going to lead into it with that pickup. And then let's learn measure 7. Measure 7, you should actually recognize that exact same thing as measure 5, so we're just repeating that there. But then at the end of measure 7, leave your ring finger right there on that 2nd fret, 3rd string. See that? Into measure 7. Right there, because you're just going to slide that up at the beginning of measure 8. So I like that part of this arrangement a lot. I think it sounds really cool. So measures 7 and 8 together. Here we go. Okay. Let's play this line one more time all the way, and then we're going to go to the next line of the tablature. So here we go. And again, we're going to lead into measure 5 with those 2 pickup notes from the previous measure. And then here we go. Next line of the tablature, measures 9 through 12, and we're going to repeat a lot of the same type of melody here. Take a listen. I like this line a lot. So measure 9, we already know this is that same melody that we've been working with. And then measure 10. Similar to what we've done, kind of, but it's a little different at the end. So measure 10, let's look at it in a little more detail. So at the beginning of measure 10, we've got our pointer finger holding that 1st fret, 2nd string, right there, and just leave that finger planted throughout all of measure 10. So pointer fingers down, and then and see that 2nd string still ringing out because we left our pointer finger there. And now let's do measures 10 and 11 together if you're ready. I think it will make most sense combining measures 10 and 11 just because they kind of work together. So right at the end of measure 10, we got a hammer on to our middle finger, see that? But then we got another hammer on right after it, beginning of measure 11. And this whole time we're still holding our pointer finger down. So hammer, hammer, pick, hammer, pick, hammer. See it? next hammer, we just hammer to our ring finger. It's pretty straightforward looking at that tablature. That's it. We play that a few times. Up, down, up, down. The end of measure 11. Still holding that pointer finger down, but you just walk down that scale. So hopefully that makes sense. Quick recap, measures 9 through 11. And then, if you're ready, measure 12, we'll just do. So measure 12, it's kind of an F chord in a way. We're not pressing down anything on the third string. We're letting that ring out. So measure 12, we just do pick, down, down, up, hammer. So that pointer's still there, ready for the hammer on. See it? So requires a lot of soft touch to play this properly, this line, and especially when you get those two hammer-ons in a row. Really got to let those overtones ring out, and takes a little bit of work getting it right, but really rewarding and really cool sounding once you get it. Oops. So anyways, hopefully all that made sense. We got measures 9 through 12 right here. And up to this point, we have learned 8 measures of the A part melody. So basically, we're still in the A part. What we're going to do though, we've already learned 8 measures. We're going to play another 8 measures, and that will finish the A part. So these next 8 measures that we're about to learn, basically we're going to play the exact same thing that we just learned. Same melody overall, same idea. We're just going to repeat it with a couple little variations to change it up a little bit. So let's jump to the next line here, and this is A part round 2, measures 13 through 16. Let's take a listen. And I'm going to do those 2 pickup notes from into the previous measure, just like we've been doing it. So here we go. Should be able to work through this quickly because we know all of this basically. There's one little difference in measure 14 and another small difference later on, but let me just show you. So measure 13, we already know this. Measure 14, just a little more complicated. Same exact idea that we played earlier, but measure 14, we're going to do a little hammer-on just to keep that momentum going. So if you remember, round 1, the A part, played the same melody here in measure 6. In measure 14, we're going to do just a little more complicated, but I think it adds to the arrangement nicely, kind of starts building the momentum to lead us into the B part. Just adding a few extra notes right there. So anyways, and then here we are in measure 15, if you're ready. So measure 15, same type of thing here. This is the same thing we played in measure 7 earlier. Remember this one in measure 7? Right there. But here in measure 15, we're going We're going to add one extra note at the end. So just keep those eighth notes going in measure 15. Pretty straightforward though. And then wrap it up here into measure 15 with those two pickup notes that we've been playing a ton here already. All right, so let me play this line one more time. I think pretty straightforward, so let me just play it so you can hear it once more, and then you can pause the video if you want, and then we'll move on to the next line. So here we go. Measures 13 through 16, leading into it with those two pickup notes. All right, moving on to the next line, we got measures 17 through 20. Sounds like this. And I'm going to do those two pickup notes here as well. All right, we're going to break down that little riff that you heard right there in measures 18 and 19 in some good detail. That's probably, in my opinion, that was the hardest part for me to work on, to learn in this song. And it still trips me up here and there. It's just kind of a squeeze with that left hand, but really cool riff. So here we go, measure 17. We already know that, same melody we've been doing. And then here we go to measure 18. Very straightforward there in measure 18. Basically done this already. So we're going to do two picks at the end of that. We're not going to do any hammer-on into that second fret. We're going to do two picks. I just like doing the picks there with this particular riff. So the main riff actually happens in measure 19, actually. That's it. So let's work on that. Starting with those two picks at the end of measure 18. And then, so as I do those two picks, measure 18, I've still got my pointer finger planted down. So here we go. Pick, pick, pick. So when you get to that very first note in measure 19, see it right there? What I've got a lot going on with my fretting hand. So I'm holding my ring finger down and I'm kind of barring my pointer across the first fret right there. It's just kind of in position. So I'm barring it, excuse me. Get ready for that little hammer on. And again, we're in measure 19. So hammer on into my pinky finger right there. If you see that, measure 19, the hammer on from the first fret to the third fret. See that? Hammering on from my barred finger hammering on into the pinky. So barring the pointer finger, hammering on into the pinky. Just do it nice and slow. Really tricky. At the end of measure 19, I'm just going to walk down that scale there in a way. And then into measure 20, where you just Kind of doing that F chord shape with the open third string. Oops. All right, well, hopefully I didn't beat that to death too much there for that riff. But anyways, let's play this line one more time, starting with those two pickup notes. Then we'll play measures 17 through 20 here, and then we'll go to the beat part. So here we go. Go into the B part right here. So let's pull that up on the screen. Measures 21 through 24, and this is the beginning of the B part. And I'm also going to lead into this with those pickup notes right at the end of measure 20.